How you doing, guys? This is BG Dino, and I am the Terradome Soldier. Welcome to my movie review show. Today's show / review is going to be on the movie Weapons. But first, let's watch this trailer. Everybody keep relaxed. This is going to be a good one. But let's watch this trailer. The trailer was released months ago, and all we kept hearing was this right here.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
So did it live up to his promise? I believe so. This movie was...
This is some scary shit.
Oh yes it was. Oh yes it was. So pretty much the movie begins with the trailer that they showed. That's pretty much how the movie began. The first 5 minutes of the movie is explaining what happened. So the same thing you see in the trailer is the first 4 or 5 minutes, with the exception of a couple of scenes. It's a couple of extra scenes of the kids running down the street like this. Then directly after that, they show the school. They have some kind of parent-teachers conference to discuss the fact that all the kids disappeared from this one teacher's class. And her name was Juliet. I believe her last name was Candy. Yeah, so they gave her opportunity to speak to the public, and of course, it was nobody wants to hear it. They yelling out things to her. Why all the kids leave from your class to nobody else's class, except for one kid. It was her and one kid, the only 2 people from that class that survived, not really survived, but didn't disappear. So of course, you got people in the audience yelling out, "You're a witch," and "Where my kids at?" And so it carried on from there. So pretty much when she was done speaking, she left the PTA meeting. Of course, they tried to attack her, like throw water on her and throw insults at her. The principal, which is like her good friend, his name is Andrew, I believe, and he's warning her. He's telling her, "Look, just get in your car, go home, don't stop nowhere." So she gets in the car. She does stop. She stops at a liquor store. See, when it first came on, you thinking like, man, he's treating these ladies mean. And the point is, she is no angel at all. I mean, that shows that within the first 15 minutes. She is no angel. Of course, she really didn't have anything to do with the kid disappearing. She really does care about the kids. I'm kind of jumping all around, so I can pretty much tell you the story. Because if I tell you everything line by line, we'll be here for hours, and I don't want to do that. So let's go back to the story. She goes to the liquor store where she meets the guy, James. James is the town drug addict. Remember him, James. Remember Andrews? Remember James? And remember the guy from the PTA meeting, parent-teacher conference, whatever you want to call it. So Julie, she purchased her liquor. She gets in the car. She drives home. And while she's in the house, she lives alone. She hears someone bang on the door with her, boom, boom, boom. So she goes to the door, find out what's going on. No one is there. And as she looked closer, she noticed that somebody painted the word witch on her vehicle. So of course she's upset. She closes the door. And the very next morning, she reports it to the police department that, we found Uwan a little bit. She goes back to the school, and her principal, which is her friend, he advises her that they want to pretty much not really suspend her, going to let her, stay home for a while to let things cool down. They still want to pay her and everything. So they told her, okay, now go to the police department and report, somebody vandalizing your car. So she goes to the police department to report that someone sprayed witch on her car. So while she's there talking to the police officer, she knows a different officer came out, and she actually knew the guy because she waved at him and you could see something. They had some kind of relationship. It seemed strange, but you could tell they had some kind of relationship. The cop she spoke to. So she spoke to him, he just waved, and she went on about her day. She ended up at a bar. See, what we didn't know is she texted the police officer when she spoke to. See, they had some kind of strange affair, because he's actually married and he's a recovering alcoholic. And she's not a recovering alcoholic, she just drinks. And she knows he's a recovering alcoholic, so she tempted him at the bar and got him to drink. And he was like, "No, I'm leaving." And as you know it, of course, they showed 3 minutes away. They jumped to the next morning where she wakes up and he wakes up in the bed next to her. And he's like, "Oh man." So his wife came home, but she dropped him off at his car where she picked him up at. And then she carried on to the gas station. While she was at the gas station, the guy from the meeting, his name is Archer. He's the guy that was calling her a witch from the current conference meeting. So while he's talking to her, all of a sudden you see her friend, which is the principal, running across the street at full speed like this, his eyes all bulging out. It's like pus coming out of his mouth. It's really disgusting. And he tries to attack her. And, he forced her up, helped her out to get Andrew off of her. And then it just cuts away. And then it goes to his story. I have to rewind. Okay, I'm rewinding back to when she was in the principal's office. The principal, that's her friend. When he was sending her home, I guess I could call it on suspension, but like I said, he was just sending her home because everybody was uncomfortable. He still was on care and everything. So while she was there, she asked him, could she speak with the kid that was in her class, the one that survived, named Alex. And the principal advised her, you absolutely cannot speak to this kid. So, of course, at the school, she followed behind the kid. Kid got out of school, and she knew that he walked home, so she followed him in her car and followed him all the way to his house. So when she saw him get to his house, she got out of her car. Once she saw him go on the door, and she knocked on the door. She rang the doorbell. Nobody answered. And she looked around, and she noticed all the windows had newspaper up against all the windows. So she decided she'd run around the back to see if she could hear or see anything, because she saw the kid going there. She see no power or nothing like that. So she looked through the back, and one of the windows had a little piece of paper tore where you could see inside. So while she was looking inside, she seen two adults, a man and a female, just sitting there looking like, had a face distorted like this, but they wasn't moving. So she gave up, and so she went back and sat in her car. So she was going to sit in her car and see if she see anything, more like a stakeout. So while she was having a stakeout, she ended up falling asleep. So it became like, I guess like in the middle of the night, it was pitch black outside. All of a sudden you see the door open up, and all you can see is darkness inside, and you see a lady standing there with a face like this, with a pair of scissors in her hand like this. And she came out the door like, oh my gracious, it was creepy. It was creepy. So she came to the car, she was still asleep, she standing there with the scissors, and she didn't bang on the door, nothing. She ended up walking around. You see her walk up the scene around the back. Next thing you know it, you hear the passenger door open, and then you hear her sitting in the car. Then you see the scissors go over there, and she cut a piece of her hair off, and then it cut to daytime. And that's when you see her wake up before she went to the gas station. She had called the principal, and she said, hey, you need to do a welfare check on that house because I followed them home. So of course the principal was upset. He said, why do you follow this man? Why do you follow this kid home? I told you to stay away. She said, well look, just do a welfare check because something strange going on. So it cuts away to that. And that's when she ended up at the gas station. And that's when the next story started.
This is some scary shit.
Pretty much after that, it cuts into the guy Archer's story. Now his story is not really that good. All it's going to do is just pretty much let you know that he's actually the one who painted Julie's car. So what it was, after the PTA meeting with the staff and the teachers, and they had a little meeting, it shows him watch Julie leave the meeting. It shows him watch Julie goes to the liquor store, and it shows him watch Julie go into the house. And then when he banged on the door, after he painted witch on her car. See, he was a contractor, so he had red paint in the back of his car. So pretty much it was just letting you know that he was the one who did it. Right after he did that, he went home, and he was really hurt because of his child. He really was really sorry. Like you saw how he was at the meeting. So anyway, he fell asleep. He had a bad nightmare, and he woke up. Now when he woke up, he was having to look on the ceiling, and on the ceiling it was like this old lady looked like this. This thing caught me completely off guard. It was a crazy jump scare. I was there, it jumped out my skin. Like, ooh. So anyway, it cut on to the morning, and that's when you see Julie ride down the street, because he wrote the name witch on her car, so she's very easy to spot out, and that's when he met her at the gas station, and he was right there when the guy Andrew came and attacked Julie. Andrew, the principal of the school, he was all bugged out, and he attacked Julie, and Archer actually defended her. Archer got him off of her, so she ran in her car and started driving. So the guy, Andrew, he's running behind her, doing the own thing. running behind her, looking creepy. So he jumps in the car behind him because the guy, Andrew, is moving. So he ended up running into incoming traffic and somebody smashed him and he just busted open like a grape. Just like that. It was crazy. It was disgusting. It was crazy. Okay, let me give this movie an honorable mention. I'm about to end up this movie into the Hall of Creepy Kid movie fame. Let's go. This next segment was about the officer Paul, the officer that Julie was having an affair with. So pretty much it starts off from when she dropped him off in the car. So when she dropped him off, he drove home. Just so happened he got home, his wife was home. She was out of town. He said, "Oh, you got here early." And she asked him, "Well, where was you at?" And, you know, being him the person, he kind of like, he don't know how to make up lies and stuff. So he didn't say anything. So she automatically said, "You've been drinking, and you was out with that woman." So then it cuts off, you know, she flushes him out, then it cuts him off, him riding in his patrol car. He riding in his patrol car, he just happened to ride down the street, and he see the town drug addict, James, breaking into somewhere. So he starts to chase James. He chases James down and, you know, putting him under arrest, and he put the handcuffs on him. He tells him, "Do you have anything sharp in your pocket? You do let me know." And the guy said, "I don't got nothing in my pocket." So the police officer stuck his hand in James' pocket and stuck his finger. And the officer freaked out and punched James and knocked him out. So the officer, he freaked out and he ran and turned the cameras off in his car. And then he came back to James and woke him up. He said, "Look, I'm going to let you go. I made a mistake. You made a mistake. Let's call it even. But don't let me see you around here again." So pretty much it cuts off from that. So then it goes to the James story. It shows James from when she walked inside the liquor store and he asked her for some money. The very first time when she walked in the liquor store and she met him. So then it shows him. He lives in a tent inside of this little wooded area. And it was raining real bad and he wanted to get high and he couldn't find any drugs or anything. So he was buzzing out. So he looking for any way to get some money. So he's trying to check people's cars, breaking people's cars, and nobody's car was open. So that's when he decided to walk through different neighborhoods to see if anybody was out of town. So he looked at this one particular house. And this one particular house had a whole bunch of newspapers on the ground. It looked like no one's there, like, you know, someone could be out of town or something. So he decided to go up to the door. It just happened to be the same door that Julie went to, the one in the house that little boy lived at, the one that got newspaper all over the windows. So he noticed him there's newspaper all over the windows by him wanting drugs so bad, and he wanted anything he could steal, so he didn't care. He ended up breaking into the house from the upstairs window, and he came in, he didn't see anybody in the house, he looked around. He didn't really see anything unusual until he got downstairs. Once he got downstairs in the kitchen, he was trying to steal silverware into that china closet. He turned around, and there was two people just sitting there stiff like this, looking like this kind of face, wasn't moving at all. So he asked them if they all right, and he realized they weren't moving, so he didn't even care about that anymore. So as he was doing that, he turned around, and he noticed there was a door right there that led to like a basement or something. So he thinking he can go down the basement and find something. So he goes down the basement and he noticed he saw something moving, and he go down the basement and he noticed there was a whole bunch of kids just standing there like, with faces like this, not really moving, just standing in the basement. So he freaks out and he runs back up the steps. By this time, it was an old lady upstairs and she had some kind of stick she broke. And when she broke the stick, it woke up the two people that was just sitting there, and they started picking up knives and stuff, chasing after James. So James running as fast as he can to get out the house, and he pretty much was about to go. You know, James, he had a real bad drug habit, so he didn't even care about that anymore. He took the silverware he had, and he went to the pawn shop, and as the pawn shop was giving him money for the silverware he had, he happened to see the wanted sign that said $50,000, anybody can recover these 17 kids. Because he actually discovered it, 13 kids. So he called the police department and told them what he saw. And they was like, well, you come on down to the station. He was like, no, you guys meet me somewhere. Meet me around the corner from the police station because I don't like going in the station. So as he was walking around the corner from the police station, then Paul just happened to spot him. Paul told him not to come nowhere near there because first of all, Paul thought he was going to make a citizen's complaint because of what he did. But when Paul seen him, he started chasing James and he ended up losing track of James, and James ran into his little tent that he lives in the woods. And when he was walking to the woods, he seen some strange lady sitting in the woods, so he went inside his tent and zipped it up and was just sitting there. And then all of a sudden somebody started unzipping his tent. So James grabbed a couple of drug needles to try to protect himself. So when somebody did it, he stuck, and it was actually the officer. He stuck the officer in the face. So the officer freaked out, huh? He said, do you have any diseases? And he said, I don't know. He said, but I know where these kids at. Just go and I'll go with you. You know, and I can show you exactly where they at. So the officer called, he believed him, and James, he took him to the house where he saw the kids at. He left James locked in the car, and he went to go investigate. So when Paul went inside the house, the door closed, and then it shows like maybe hours later, it was nighttime. So it was nighttime, completely pitch outside. So James still sitting in the car, and he noticed some crazy things happening, so the door opened up again. All you see is darkness. Then all of a sudden you see Paul, the police officer. He's like, brain going like, this is why the movie's called Weapons. Somebody is turning people into weapons to do what they want to do. Like some kind of mind control type thing, like a zombie type thing. So anyway, Paul runs out there to the car fast as he can, and he grabs Jimmy and drags him off. And that was the end of the show there.
This is some scary shit.
Then the story cuts to Alex. Alex is the little kid. So it starts off the day before anything actually happened. Alex was in school. School was over. His father picked him up. They drove home, and once they got home, his father alerted him that he has a visitor coming here, his mother's aunt. She's going to come and stay with them for a while because she's sick, and she's just going to stay with them for a little while. So later on that night, the aunt actually showed up. It was late at night, and she's bringing things in, and the father is letting Alex know, you know, don't disturb your aunt, you know, she's real sick, so just leave her be. So the son wanted to know, how long is she going to stay? And he said, I don't know, but just leave her be. So later on that night, Alex wandered over to her room, and he looked in the room, and when he looked in there, she looked like a real distorted, like she was like something like The Walking Dead. I'm not even kidding. So he ended up closing the door, leaving out. It cuts to the next morning when his father dropping Alex off. And he's telling Alex, I'll be here today to pick you up at normal time I usually do. So Alex went to school like normal. School was over. The father wasn't there, so Alex walked home by himself. Once he walked home, you know, he got there, and his father and his mom were just sitting in the chair like this. So he wondered what's going on, and so the aunt was like, oh no, they fine. They just need some rest or something. Go ahead upstairs and do whatever you're doing. So he goes upstairs, he come back downstairs, and she's sitting there. And the aunt pretty much, she letting him know that she controlled his parents, because they sitting there like that. And Alex didn't want to believe it. So she was like, look, you're going to do what I tell you to do, or this is going to be consequences. So the aunt, she had this little black twig. She has this black tree in her room. Little black tree she worshiped or something. And she wraps things around the twig, and she breaks it, and she can control people. So she controlled both his parents, so she wanted to give him a demonstration of her powers. So what she did was, when she was telling Alex he had to do something, and he didn't do it, she was like, well, if you don't do what I said, I can make your parents kill each other. In fact, I can make them eat each other. But he still was looking like he didn't believe, so she did something. She broke the twig, and the parents, both of them picked up a fork and just started stabbing themselves in the face like this. I mean, what, flinching and it was disgusting. It was like, it was disgusting. So the aunt, she told him from now on what his job is to do is to feed his parents some soup. That's all they need, soup. Now see, I was wondering when I first came in the theater, I heard a lot of people telling me that some people, when they went to the movies, they was handing out cans of soup and little bells. I didn't know what they were talking about. But once you watch the movie, you understand. Unfortunately, the movie theater I went to, they didn't hand out no soup or no bells. That would have been a great collector's item, but anyway, within that conversation later on that night, he heard his aunt yelling his name. So Alex, he went to go see what his aunt wanted. His aunt was telling him that his parents wasn't good enough for her. She needs some more people other than her. See, what she was doing is she was dying, and she was some kind of witch. She had a potion or a spell where she can consume the youth out of people, and it gives her life, it gives her more life, and makes her a little bit more useful. So her idea was, she told Alex, instead of me draining your parents, I need you to go to your school and get something from each one of your friends that's in your class and bring them to me. So, of course, the next morning, Alex, he's sitting in the classroom, he's looking around, he's wondering what he could take from each one of the students, each one of the 17 kids. What can he take? So he noticed that all the kids had lockers, and they had their little stickers with their name on it. This is probably like first or second grade. And so when the kids was on recess, he decided to go in there and he took all the names off their lockers and he put it in his book bag. As he was leaving out the classroom, the teacher, Miss Julie, she saw him, she was asking him what was he doing. He said, oh no, I was about to play, but then, she made no big deal about it. Then he went back to home. So he gave it to his aunt, and she took every picture, every name they had, and made some little potion. And the potion she had, it just happened, it was to 217, it really didn't mean nothing. It just happened to be the time that she did it. When she did it at 217, of course, all the kids, they snuck out, they went out the house, that red run, if I ever see something like that, that's creepy, for real. That's I'm guarantee people gonna do that all Halloween. People gonna walk around like this, I guarantee you, because it's creepy. So Alex, he's actually standing at the door as all the kids, like they leave their house, like you said, everybody left at 2:17 in the morning, they never came back, so they ran in the house. Alex standing at the door as they run past him. There's nothing he can do. His aunt got out the chosen. All he can do is just be quiet. So then it cuts to the teacher. So the principal, Andrew, it shows how he got the way he was. It goes back to the day after everything happened when Julie was sitting in his office and she was talking. Then it shows him go home. And then it shows when Julie called him when she was outside the house and she was telling him to do a welfare check on the house and he was denied. So he actually did put in for a welfare check for somebody from that house to come talk to him. So the next day, of course, the parents couldn't do it because they were under the transfer. We didn't know that at the time. So the aunt, she comes to the school and she tells Andrew that his parents was real sick and she there. And he said, well, no, this is a welfare check. I actually need to see them. So she gave him all this crazy excuses. And while she was there, she was looking around his office. And you didn't see what she took, but you knew she was looking around. So then it cuts to him and his husband at home. They was eating dinner, and all of a sudden, the aunt, she knocks on the door. She asked, hey, can I get a cup of water? I missed my bus. And Andrew was like, no, I don't think so. But his spouse was like, all right, come on in, get some water. So once she came in there and get some water, she asked, can I have my water inside of a bowl instead of glass? She's like, inside of a bowl? So while she gave her a bowl of water, she pulled out one of the twigs. She had one of the ribbons from his office wrapped around the twig. And when she broke the twig, it made Andrew blank out, turn to one of her weapons. And he destroyed, pretty much beat the guy he whipped to death with his head. And then it cuts to him when he ran and caught Julie and Archer in the parking lot. All right, now, this is where all hell breaks loose. So then it cuts back to Julie and Archer. They ain't seen enough with Andrew, so they decided to go to the house and do an investigation. So they went back to the house where Alice lives at, and they were staking it out, and they seen the officer, Paul, come to the door. And the guy was like, Archer was like, hey, it's a police there. She said, no, I know him, that's Paul. He's like, oh, you know him? And then Paul was at the door. Like I said, he was already wiped out the officer. One, she got mad because he told her to come in. So they was looking around. They like, all right, so they come in. So this is where everything goes crazy. This movie went from 0 to 1,000. I mean, it comes from Paul and the guy James attacking Archer and Julie. I mean, they just like ripping skin off and blood, guts, everything. It was just crazy. This is where the whole movie came down to. The last 30 minutes. The last 30 minutes was terrifying. They put all the stories, they put everybody all into this one spot. So Alex is upstairs. Julie, she can hear Alex upstairs because she's trying to help him. At the same time, she's being attacked by Paul, and Arthur's being attacked by James. And they just going through a rough thing. And Arthur, he looks in the basement, he sees the kids down there, and he don't know what to do because he's running from James. Because James is like a weapon now, and Paul. So the aunt, she was in her room. She had her room marked off with salt, and she had his parents standing at her bedroom door as bodyguard. She told Alex, don't cross this salt line. So Alex, he's standing there, he's hearing everything going on downstairs. So he's trying to get into the aunt's room, and he stepped across the salt line, one little inch. Then his parents came attacking him. And while she was attacking him, the aunt, she went downstairs. So so the kid Alex, he found some kind of way to get into the aunt's bedroom, and he remembered what his aunt did. She wrapped stuff around the tree and cut herself, got some blood, and then she breaks the stick. So while they going through the big tussle, for maybe like, I'm telling you, like this last 30 minutes was crazy. It's hard to even explain. So anyway, to make a long story short, the witch lady, the aunt, she ended up getting something, and she had Archer under her control now. So the only people that was normal now is Julie and Alex. So Alex, he actually had gotten there when her tree was at. So like I said, he watched the thing she did. So he took something from her hair, and wrapped it around the crib and stuck himself and broke the wrench. And then that alerted the kids. So the kids went out and they were blanked out, and they came chasing after the aunt. Now this part right here was actually hilarious. The aunt, she heard him break the stick, and she knew what was going to happen. So she goes out the door, help me! And she running through doors. They just busting through windows and busting through people's houses. And the kids finally catch her to her, and they tore her from limb to limb. I mean, they tore her apart. So pretty much when they tore her apart, it brought Archer back to normal. But unfortunately, his parents and the kids, they never really snapped out of it. They were more like blank. And they said at the end that some of the kids actually began to talk again, but they were never normal again. And his parents, they were never normal again. He made a statement that he never had to feed them soup anymore. They was getting fed soup inside of a nursing home. So at the very beginning, when you hear the girl talk, and she said the niggas town, they try to cover it up. So that right there is pretty much the end of the movie. This movie was terrifying to me. Thank you guys. I know it was a long run, but I had to give you guys the best quality. Like I said, I'm not going to give you half to it. I mean, I did cut a lot off, but I gave y'all the basic point for y'all to get an understanding of what's going on. This movie was terrifying. My immediate reaction is,
This is some scary shit.
you should knew that was coming. And my review is, I'm going to give it a 3.0 out of 5 turned on soldiers. 3.0 out of 5 turned on soldiers. This movie was terrifying. Like I said, even with the movie was a slow burn for the first beginning when I had to add all the parts that lead up to the end. It was a slow burn, but it wasn't a boring slow burn. But you was interested in what happened, and even with the slow burn, they still had little jumps and strange things happening, enough to keep the interest. You never get bored, and the last 30 minutes you have to brace yourself. I'm telling you, at some parts of the last 30 minutes, I had to look around the theater. I'm in the theater, I went early to an early showing, so it was like medium crowd. I didn't have nobody in the room I was in. So when stuff happened, I actually had to look around. It ain't too many movies to make me do that, especially horror movies that have me looking around and see what's going on in the audience. This movie has you looking around. So, once again, my review is 3.0 out of 5 turned on soldiers for the movie Weapon. Thank you guys for all the support. I appreciate it. I know this was a little long, but like I said, I gotta give you guys the best quality. Also, while we're here, check out the BG Dino shorts. I got the list of every movie that's coming out from 2025 to 2027 as they come. When they come, I'll post them. So you can check it out if you ever try and wonder what's coming out next, or if it's true some movie come out, when it shows it to me, I'll post it. So guys, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and share. Most definitely, hit the like button so I can make you guys appreciate it. I know you guys appreciate me anyway, so you don't have to. If you want to, if you feel generous, please hit the like button. Thank you guys. This is DJ Dino. Honorable mention. Shout out to the Dante Show Network. Shout out to Jury Fifth. Shout out to Miss Jersey. Subscribe to her channel. It's Forensic8888. She does movie reviews like myself, and she also does book reviews. Thank you guys. I really appreciate everything you guys do for me. I appreciate all the support. Thank you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. This is DJ Dino, the Turned On Soldier. Salute. And I love you guys. Stay tuned for my next video.